Well, it's nice to see you back at East End Park, Vic. You were first here as a player such a long time ago. But you were only here one season in 1974. Yeah. So what was it like being a player here at that time? Because you were quite young.
It was. I just came out my apprenticeship, the doctor, and it just come at the right time, you know. My brother was here, and Graham Shaw, Jock Mackey, Alec Kiernan, Kenny Thompson, Jim Leishman, Kenny Watson, Jim Wallace. So it was fine for me, but I was always going to go back to part-time football because I had a good job. But we enjoyed the time there. One of the things in that season was I was playing the night that Big Lease broke his leg. We actually beat Hearts. You know, we beat them the week before over at Tynecastle. We beat them 3-2. Jackie Sinkler scored 3. I'll never forget that. We had a good team. You know, Dave McNichol and that were all there at the time. Come back here. And I always remember wee Marley for Oakley was on the line. And I think my brother scored, he was for here to Cowdeath offside, but Marley just waved it on. But even then it was great. It was great.
In the 70s, it wasn't such a great time for the club in the 70s.
In the early 70s, they were finding their way, they were constantly fighting relegation. The next season, actually, after I left them, I think they managed to stay up in the last game of the season against Dundee United. But my brother was here at that time, and I still came in to watch them regularly. You're right, they were trying to find their feet. And George Miller was the character, and Ralphie Brand was the assistant, and there were hard times for them, but great times. We went away on tours and this, that and the next thing. But you're right, I can't remember who took over for Geordie Miller, but George Miller was a character. In fact, I went to his funeral. Big Jim and I seen him the night before he passed away, God bless him. He was a lovely man.
He was definitely a character.
Oh, he certainly was, huh? Great snooker player. He used to give me 42 a start in a frame for a $5 at that time. Yeah, that was a lot of money. When you consider that my wages then, I was in the dockyard and I was on £14 a week as a time served shipwright, and my dad was on £11 a week in the pit, and I came here for £44. So I almost, quadrupled or trebled my wage, and big money then. That was a lot of money.
Yeah.
So a tenner a win, used to get a tenner a win. But I enjoyed it. Me and Lise played together at centre halves, and I enjoyed my time at Dunfermline as a player. But again, I was always going to go back to my work. I did well in the dockyard. I had 17 years in there. Then I came back, the rest is history. I came back with Bert.
Because what did you do when you left Dunfermline then, football wise?
I went back to the dockyard. Actually, to start with, I went up to Ross County. I got offered for East Fife and I got offered for Morton. But I was getting married, and I got offered unbelievable money to go to Ross County. So, and I used to send all the money home to Anne Marie so she could pay for the wedding. And then I was only up at Ross County a year, and Brecon came in, and I think they paid £7,000 or something for me. And then I had 8 years up there at Brecon, and that was the start of something different as well. But when I come back to Central Brecon, I went back to the dockyard, and then as a shipwright, and then I developed into a planner, and then I started as an estimator. I often think back in my life and think, I wished I'd stayed in the dockyard. My mate's Gordon Hasty, him and I were at the dockyard at the same time, and you know, they were great. I hear some great stories. The dockyard was a great place to work at that time. It looked after you, great holidays and great time off if you really needed it. Great apprenticeship, a dockyard apprentice as well regarded, and it helped me in my time. So from that time, life was pretty good. Life was pretty good then. Serving my apprenticeship, I went to Dundee United to start with. I could have went to Leeds and Man United, but they weren't wanting me. I went up to Dundee United, and at that time your dad, you know, my dad was a miner, and he would say to you, right, you need a trade, son. You know, that's what we did when we were younger. So I went up to Dundee United for the first 4 months. In the summer I was full time, but then I had to restart my trade again, and so I trained 4 nights, and I worked in Rob Caledon, and then I went and stayed with the players in Dundee. That's where my friendship with Walter Smith comes in. We've been lifelong friends because we shared a flat together, and that's what you did, Christine, at these times, to try and make ends meet. And the children come along, and you're happily married, and life's been good to me.
So to follow on from that, you then met up with Bert, and you went to Rosythric. Is that right? How did that come about?
I'd known Bert obviously through being a local boy, and him being a Dunfermline legend really. And the word's been totally overused. You know, you get a legend if you play half a dozen games now. Peyton was a legend. Played 13 years at this football club. I think he still remains having the best. He still is the record for scoring goals in Europe. I think he scored 13. And Bert was just a decent fella, you know. And I had decided to go into the coaching side of the game, and I didn't ever think that, you know, I was a smoker and I liked a pint and the idea of that now because of obvious reasons of my health. But at that time, I decided to go down to the coaching, enjoyed it, and become a staff coach, which was an honour really, because you've got to do really well before.
Is that with the SFA? With the SFA?
With the SFA, and you're working with Alec Ferguson and Craig Brown and Roxburgh and Watty Smith and Knox and Willie McLean, Tam McLean, Jim McLean. It was an honour to be working and sitting at the same table as them. So I was always going to be, you know, when I finished at Brecon, my chairman was David Will, who people did not respect. That he was the president of FIFA, and he asked me diplomatically in my middle 30s when I retired. He said, Dick, would you consider taking the reserve team? And then I thought, you know, Andy Roxburgh is quite keen for you to go down to Largs and Craig Brown and all the boys. So I suppose a nice, good enough reputation. Went down there, done all the coaching things, and then I went to Brecon first with John Ritchie. And John's ironically with me now. I've got the oldest management team in the world. John's the oldest goalkeeping coach in the world, he's 70-year-old. And I got caught up in the whole thing, Christine. There was just far too much going on. 3 kids, a family. Then I bought a pub, would you believe, and left the dockyard, and it just was too much. And I packed in the football, but I didn't half miss it, you know. And then, I was only packed in 2 or 3 months, and the bold Bertie walks into It's a true story now. He walks into the Silver Tassy, how's it going, son, and all that, you know. I came what was coming, I knew he was needing somebody to give him a hand. He says, right, I've taken the Rosyth Juniors job. I says, what? And I'm not doing it unless you're coming with me. Right? I says, Bert, that's the last thing in the world that I need is a coaching job at a junior club, right? Well, I'm telling you now, I need you to come down and take a train. And I'm not going to take no for an answer. And I'm taking wee Mo with me, right? So I was best man at wee Mo's wedding, so Mo was my mate, right? I was actually supposed to be best man, but I didn't make it on the day because I was playing in Dunfermline's first team against St Johnstone, so. But I was originally the best man. And I said to Bertie, I'll tell you what I'll do with you. I have a night off on a Thursday. I'll come down on a Thursday one day a week and I'll do a wee bit, right? And of course, inevitably that's what happens, you know. Bert was very shrewd. Bert was one of the straightest talking guys I've ever came across. And I've met a lot of people in football now. I'm over 1,200 games in a dugout. And Bert Payton's still the best. Do you know what he was good at? Simple things like identifying your role. Bert would, I had 9 years here with him. In the Allison days with Dunfermline with Bert and I, well, you, Christine, you know, fantastic days. I think we had nothing. Roy was up front with us, Roy Woodrow. Would they cut everything, would they cut this and cut that and cut this and cut that. And stop the cheese on the toast because we didn't have any money and we Captain Cutlass was there, Paul DeMello. Do you know, that's what we used to call him, Captain Cutlass. Sorry, after the Scythe thing. Wait a minute, after the Scythe thing, right, would you believe it, I went to work with C.R. Smith. Right. My twin brother, Ian, was high up there, or a director or whatever the case may be, you know. And Bert and I both went, so it wasn't a bother for me because I was a shipwright. And I always remember I was going out in the night shift, right, and the spam pieces were made, right, they were in the Tupperware box. And Bertie phones me at 10 to 6, I was just going out the door, he says, right Dick, come on, you're coming with me to Dunfermline, I've got the Dunfermline job and your wages is this and 3 times more than I was getting at C.R. Smith. Well, I booted that piece box all over the front gear. I'm telling you, the seagulls and says, I helped yourself. I didn't go to the night shift that night, right? Just rattled into a bottle of vodka or something like that, right? Great days. Anyway, that's it, you know. And then we went to Dunfermline. And I was still a staff coach. I was still becoming recognised in that department. Never in your wildest dreams would you believe what I have achieved, but particularly the type of guy I was, you know. But I was a serious guy when it came to football. And all the time I was at Dunfermline, we had some great players, but I'll talk about them. Do you know, Bert used to say, why would I take the training? Dick's better at it than me. And that was his philosophy. And all the years I was at Dunfermline, I believe I was always going to be the manager of Dunfermline Football Club. Under the regime that was there. I was coached and prepared and made to believe I was, right? John Yorkson seemed to pay to that, right? But I enjoyed it. Bertie, but see where Bertie was magnificent. He was a meticulous planner. I'm still not as good as him yet. See, at half time, and identifying the strengths and the weaknesses of the opposition on the board. People will not believe us. Payton was magnificent. Payton was magnificent at that. He didn't want to get involved in the social problems of the players. That's my job, you know. And him and I were like chalk and cheese, you know. But close friends, and he totally trusted me, and I implicitly trusted him. And that came through in the success that we had, you know. I mean, it was 3 years in the trot it took us to get up, didn't it? We failed the last game, the first 2 years, you know, and we were shopping in Woolworths at the time, you know. But I think something came out, Christine, that year when we won the championship. I think we scored more goals than anybody else, with the least amount of goals against us. We had more corners or some stupid, we accrued more points, with the least points against us, the least goals against us. Every single thing fell into place, and I think it was down to Peyton. Bertie will say no, but then you start to pick up, you know, the club started to pick up, and we had an average crowd of 7,000 at that time, and that wasn't that long ago, you know. I always remember the first 3 games we got beat off of Brecon. We got beat off of something. I lost the first 3 games, and I'm thinking, oh, by the way, and I always remember, I think Hugh Keedens had phoned up Roy Woodrow and said, they tell me you're getting rid of Leishman and Campbell, and you're bringing Leishman back. No, you're getting rid of Peyton and Campbell, and you're bringing Leishman. Well, that didn't go doing well. That didn't go doing well with the boys, you know. But then we built the football club, and we used a cause, and the cause was our working class mining backgrounds. Everybody didn't like us. We didn't have the same amount of money as everybody in the league. We were the poor Samaritans. But you know, the year we won the championship, there were 8 local derbies. Dundee United were in the league, Red Rovers were in the league, Falkirk were in the league, St Johnstone were in the league. Everybody local was in the league. You know, it was fascinating how we won the championship that year. But yet, I mean, the players that went through our hands. I mean, the stadium. See the stadium. We were there when they started building the stadium. In fairness to Roy Woodrow, needs to be commended for that, and a lot more things as well. He kept the club alive, Roy Woodrow. But we sold Jackie McNamara, we sold Scott McCulloch, we sold Shieldsy. Big money, Christine. Big money we got for them, that kind of helped to pay for the stand and bits and bobs, and developed the football club, and we just kept on getting better and better and better. And
what was your remit then when you first came in? What did Roy Woodrow and the board say to you?
My remit was assistant manager. Titles meant nothing to me. When you know Peyton and Campbell, when they get caught up in, the remit was to, I think Bert had went and had an interview with Roy. I didn't even know Bert was going for a job. I never knew that. That was the way Bert worked and the way Roy worked. Andrew Gillis was in there with Bert, with Roy, and they liked Bert's history of playing for the club. He managed the way he played, gave every single thing he did. They went out here with 13 years with a caliper. I don't think Dunfermline treated Bert Peyton right. They at least should have gave him a testimonial, without any shadow of a doubt, but they never. But you can blame the powers that be that after that, and I get annoyed at that when I see what else is happening about the clubs. You know, you're here half an hour, you're getting that. But Bert Peyton deserved it. But what he did was he stabilised the football club. He had a football background behind that, Christine. He was very successful at Red Rovers as a manager. He was very successful at Cowdenbeath as a manager. He was extremely successful at St Johnstone. So Bert was a well-known figure in the football fraternity. And I never had any issues at all about going to work with him. And I never had any regrets about going to work with him. I learned so much off him. Back off, Dick. Stand back, Dick. Stop looking for confrontation. Stop arguing all the time, Dick. Back off. Because I'm an aggressive sort of guy, you know. I'll not put up with any bullshit, you know. But Bert was magnificent at that. But our remit, seriously, was to stabilise the football club and try and get up. And I felt for Roy Woodrow and Andrew Gillis and Bert the first 2 years we were here. We failed on the last day. I could have brought my hat. And Roy could have easily said, right, you've had your chance. But in fairness to Roy, he stuck by the two of us, and Bert stuck by me. And then the championship winning.
In a way then that managers, that clubs should stick by the managers to give them more time. That managers don't get the same amount of time as they used to.
Christine, what's happening now in football? Well, I mean, John Yorkson sacked me. I was joint top of the league, right? We got relegated for the Premier League. We remained in the Premier League 5 seasons. We had to sell our good players and we were left, and we got beat. We went down. Bert packed in and Roy gave me the job, and I was very unlucky not to keep them up, but I was very confident that we could have brought them right back up, right? I signed Stevie Crawford at that time. It was me that signed Stevie Crawford, and Andrew Tudds and that were still on, Andy Smith's name were all singing about it, Derek Fleming's, they were all still here in the Shields, they were all still here. And but I knew, this is no controversial, it's the truth. Roy phoned me for America when he was on holiday and said to me that I had a great relationship with Mr. Woodrow. He's a lovely guy. He says to me, Dick, I've got good news and bad news for you. I says, what's the good news? He says, I've sold all my shares to John Yorkson. I says, all right, what's the bad news? You're no his man. This is before he even took over. And it was in the minutes he wanted Leash and Craig Robertson, which I had nothing at all to do with me. But I just wished that he came in and said that to me. And do you know that season, Dunfermline got up second place, 8 points behind St Mirren. They only got a point. And Jimmy Calderwood and Jimmy Nicholl came in. I brought Jimmy Nicholl in. It was me who brought Jimmy Nicholl as my assistant. And that's when I think it started to deteriorate rapidly in terms of the finance. I mean, when you think of the players that had the Scott Thompsons and the Andrew Tudds and the Andy Smiths and the Stevie Crawfords, I had them on a quarter of the wages they were on. After John Yorkson and Jimmy Calderwood came in, they just kept on putting the wages up. Fairness to Jimmy Calderwood, Stevie Crawford got capped in his contract. So Stevie's quadrupled his wage and all this, but Dunfermline couldn't afford that. And every year the debt kept on. Anyway, that was after I left. But winning the championship, I mean, we've now had 8 championships, you know, 4 promotions and 4 titles I've been involved in. And I've always had good staff. Always had good staff. And that was the most exciting, one of the most exciting things in my football life was taking Dunfermline, or helping Bert.
Second season when you were in charge, that was the year that we had the playoff system against Aberdeen and we lost out.
Wow. Wow. I think that anybody in their thought, you probably were up at Aberdeen. It was a disgraceful decision by the referee. I'm trying to make it was Doctor.
Remember.
Anyway,
didn't get the penalty.
Anyway, a disgraceful penalty kick decision went against us. And I think up there, we had chances to win the game, packed house. Then Shearer done us tight out here. But there was 14,000 here or something at the game. And we failed, and you know, you had to be commended for, I mean, Aberdeen were a good side at that time, they were third in the league the year before. And they were down in the playoffs and they were always going to be favourites, but we were angry at no beating them, but we didn't go up, and that was history. But it's no shame to get beat up at Aberdeen.
What was it like then to start again and boost the players up, because you changed some of the.
We had a great spirit, and I've always managed to. I'm quite a funny guy, and I like a laugh in my life. Bert's extremely funny. Bert likes a laugh, and there's a serious part to us. Time to work, time to play. But we always had a great dressing room. And when you've got the likes, say, the Colin Millers and the Alan Moores and Jerry Brittons and boys of that ilk, and then all the local boys, the Toddies and the Craig Robertsons and Scott Thompsons and all them. We always had a great dressing room, Christine, and I think it was just a matter of get the sleeves rolled up. and get on with it, let's go for another campaign, you know, because there was a real determination, because we thought that we kept him, because we were still working in you know, I think the most we'd paid was £30,000 for Derek Fleming from Meadowbank. And in the market at that time was, you know, it was affluent that players were going for more, but we didn't have it, and we still had to work within our restrictions. You know, we never got any bonuses for getting up, and like after us, bonuses for staying in the league. We never got any bonuses for staying in the league. That was your job, to stay in the league. Why would it not be? You got paid every month. You got paid every week for your bonus. You know, didn't see any been a problem there, but.
Was it difficult circumstances to work in then? Because everything was so tight, and you know, you had to watch every penny.
Well, I think, you know, Bert would sit every day with Roy and Andrew, most days. And maybe on a Thursday or Friday they would invite me in, and I knew everything that was going on. But they trusted me, and I trusted Bert, and more importantly, we trusted Roy. See, if you went to Roy and said that we need to do this, and maybe get a wee trip here, take the players away for a couple of days, or pre-match meals, or overnight stays, or you couldn't do that. We didn't do that. We until things got a wee bit easier, and Roy would support you in every way. You know, bonuses, that we drop more on a bonus because of the importance of the game, and so I had absolutely no problem at all with Bert looking after all my interests. You know, I didn't really. I was a football boy. I just got sort of into it. And of course, we bring all the coaches in. Jimmy Bone came in. Young coaches came in. I remember Bill Leckie coming in for a week.
That's right.
He did. But times were. My brother Ian, he came in on a Saturday. He always never ever got the credit he deserved, Ian, because Ian's a meticulous planner, and equally a very, very good coach, very good qualified coach. But Ian, he had far too much on his plate with his own businesses. Avenue Scotland now is attributed to Ian. They're one of the biggest recruitment companies in Scotland. He owns that, and he's committed to it. But at that time he was committed to us as well, so it was. But we had the big battles then, didn't we? We had the Airdries. It was like World War III every time we played Airdrie, you know. Oh, I mind I got sent off against Airdrie, and they put me up the stand, and they were throwing pies at me. Anyway, I'm like, I knew I was eating them. Great games, Alec MacDonald, and hard games. John McVeigh and all that mob.